Hey ladies, super happy to have here with me Mrs. Kavitha Srinivas, who's a second-time client of mine. She joined my coaching program back in 2020 to work on her weight loss journey and also to improve her nutrition and learn a few skills that are sustainable. And the second time around, she joined me. Hi Kavi, so happy to have
Yeah.
you here.
Hi, happy to be here.
And she has completed 5 months of my coaching program, second time around. This time it was all about learning festive season mastery skills, basically to learn how to navigate the festival season, typically starting from Krishna Jayanti, Vinayaka Chaturthi, and all of that from August or September until just now. We completed the program early February. And we're going to just recount the journey that we have been together in the last 5 months and share a few insights, useful insights that are going to be helpful for you as well, hopefully, and motivate you to start taking action towards your journey and understand that it doesn't require big actions. Maybe it is a big goal, but you don't need big actions to go after it. You need tiny actions, which are strategic and which also feel very sustainable for you. Okay. So, Kavi, can you just share a little bit of an introduction about yourself, what you do, and your family, please?
Yeah, so basically, I'm an educationist. I've been in the space of education in various capacities for the last 18 years. So, in my last stint, I was working in a teacher training firm. And currently, of course, I've become a full-time Rotarian and I'm very active in Rotary. And my husband is also a consultant. He's an HR consultant, and I have two kids who are abroad. My son who is working and a daughter who's studying abroad. So that's about my family. And yeah, my son was here, in fact, during a big chunk of this 5-month program because he was also going through surgery, shoulder surgery. So he was with me at that point of time. In fact, he also, I think, benefited because he was observing the way I was eating and he was very impressed and he was trying to emulate and say how he can go back and pick it up and do. So I'm grateful that that I was able to inspire him also during the time that
Nice.
he was here.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that, Kavi. And it's really amazing, right? When the woman of the household starts changing her habits, it has a deep impact on the people around us. So,
Correct.
really super
Correct.
happy to hear that. And let's go back in time, Kavi, 5, 6 months, if we can kind of go back. And I would like to understand what prompted you to, what was your trigger to join the program again? What was going on for you?
I think first time around when I joined sometime around 2020, 21, it was of course, fat loss and I needed to kind of become more fit and take a look at my food and movement. I needed to be consistent. I knew that. And that was the focus of that program at that time. And I was able to, I think with your help and focus, get back my movement, like be consistent with my movement, look at my food in terms of protein, carbs, and a more balanced meal, putting together a balanced meal on my plate, planning and prepping. All that happened in the first time. So for 2 years, basically, I was able to be consistent with it. I lost about 10 kilos and I was maintaining it. But just about sometime in April last year, I was going through a lot of menopause issues. I went through extreme fatigue. Extreme fatigue means I couldn't get out of bed on many days, and I just couldn't understand what was happening to me. And so I couldn't do some of the things, like whether it was movement or putting together a balanced meal. The cravings were crazy. I was constantly like reaching out for sweets or carb heavy food. I didn't understand what had changed in my mind or my body. What was happening to me, I couldn't understand. So instead of trying to fix it myself, I tried, but it was not working. So I knew I needed somebody to help me and uh, put me back on track, help me back to get back on track. So and since I've already worked with you once, I said you're probably the best person to help me this time around also. And of course, festive season, I knew that this is going to aggravate the whole craving and eating, binge eating kind of a thing. So before that, I wanted to attack the problem and handle it. So that's what triggered my joining the program, especially the fatigue and wanting to understand how to handle menopause issues at that time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that openly, Kavita. It's perimenopause and menopause is really a very difficult phase to go through. I mean, it's a natural part of the aging process, but for each individual, it can be very different. For some, they have it very easy. For some, it's really, really difficult. And I think we follow under that bracket. It's not an easy ride at all. And definitely, it's something that can be overcome with lifestyle changes. And most of us are not even aware of the symptoms. We just think that it's all going okay. And then suddenly we cannot relate to our body or the resistance that we feel in our mind, the fatigue, like you rightly said, it's sometimes it's so difficult. Sleep issues, it's horrible. The insomnia and the hot flashes and the cold flashes through the night that is keeping us
Correct.
awake multiple times, waking up and not able to go back to sleep. These were all a big revelation for me. And to top it all, the mood swings and the inability to regulate the emotions as much
Emotions,
as
yeah.
as well
Emotions
as you
go
were able
haywire
to,
there.
yeah, as well you were able to do before. And it's like you're a whole new person. You're not able to identify with yourself anymore. So definitely I can relate to those challenges, Kavi, and you're not alone. And I'm sure many women who are watching this video are going to be nodding their heads hearing us speak as well. And I'm so happy that you took that proactive step to work on yourself once again. um, Basically this phase requires a little bit of a navigation, so to speak, of the skills. What worked before don't work anymore. So we need to kind of pivot and understand, okay, my body is changing. How best can I support it with kindness and compassion, with a gentle approach, not a drastic change. Reinvent the skills that we are focusing on in terms of nutrition, in terms of movement, because fatigue being a key player here, you cannot push yourself as much as you did before. A lot of
Exactly.
focus needs to be on your sleep, your recovery, the way you're managing stress. So those are all the skills that we took on this time around. And I'm eager to hear your feedback about how all of that went for you, Kavitha, apart from, of course, the festival eating skills.
Um, like I said earlier, it was only a question of putting habits in place. There was no question of, will I be able to walk? Will I be able to lift the weight? Do I have the energy? Can I do it? And the question was not there. It's only a question of, how do I get to be more consistent? How do I build systems so that there is no resistance, that I do it automatically every day? So those skills had kind of fallen in place earlier. This time around, it was trying to understand my body. Basically, I just couldn't figure out how I was going to be that day. When I woke up that morning, what my energy level would be, I didn't know. So I was very impatient with myself. Like, I wanted to go for that walk. I wanted to go to the gym, but I couldn't do it. So one part of my brain was saying, no, you're just lazy. You're making excuses. You're just telling yourself you can't do it. Then there's the other side, which is saying, no, I cannot do this. So, uh, I remember the biggest thing that helped at this phase was what you spoke about when you said show up imperfectly. I think the previous time the mantra was looking at the continuum and balanced meal and prioritizing protein. That was the mantra the first time around, and of course consistent movement. This time it was more about showing up imperfectly, reminding myself to be compassionate to myself, tuning into my emotions. Like, I knew I was eating crazily sometimes because I was feeling low. I didn't know why I was feeling low. Then I was feeling tired. So I needed that little bit of sugar rush to get me to be able to get up and do things. I was craving carbs in some form or the other. To be compassionate with myself, I had to keep reminding myself, and that kept happening also because of the group coaching program, where you used to constantly reiterate being self-compassionate, show up imperfectly. It doesn't have to be a 1 hour walk. It can be a 15-minute walk. It can be a 20-minute exercise, whatever you can do. So learning to be flexible this time around was the big key for me. And I think that's where the coaching program helped a lot, because there were days when I would get up and I just couldn't walk. I'll wear the shoes and I'll drag myself up to the gate, and my mind will say, I cannot walk, and I'll come back. There are days when there'll be so much mental resistance. I'll walk up to the gate, I'll go out, and then there's no turning back. I could walk for 1.5 hours. So it was always about tuning into what the resistance was, what my physical condition was that day, mudiyuma, mudiyada, to be understanding of my body's condition that day. Sorry, Nick mudiliya, okay, I'll do 15 minutes. at least let me focus on the food part of it and balance that. So, and try and see how I can handle cravings in the house by putting stickers on the cupboard so that I don't reach out for all those snacks. Clearing making the environment work for me by clearing away all the stuff that I should not be eating, too much of. So all that definitely helped. Those reminders definitely helped for the last 5 months. It's been very, very challenging, I think, but all these skills definitely helped.
Thanks for sharing that, Kavi. Actually, you took the bull by the horns, right? It's not one difficult challenge that you are navigating with menopause, but also the festivals. My God, it was like one after the other, right? So we'll definitely talk about that. But this time around, it was all about navigating your mindset even more, right? It was not about physical, actual skills anymore. This was more about handling the mental space. With the body not cooperating anymore, the mind was showing even more resistance, and it was growing stronger, right? Trying to say that, hey, you cannot do it. But then you had to push past that resistance, using your self-awareness, pausing as the skill to understand what purpose does it serve now and what is really going on. Like really be the middle ground between the mind and the body, I would say, right?
Yeah,
Kind
what
of
is the
tuning into
minimum?
both.
Your words, what is the minimum I can do today? If I can't do, on our walk, what is it that I can do at least make myself feel a little better? So that definitely helped.
And definitely the flexible mindset, Kavita. I think that was another a big thing where you are not, being hard on yourself. If you are not able to do, your body is not cooperating, you are able to break down the goal into a small component and get it done. And being okay to not doing also, not beating yourself about taking a break, right? There are
Yeah.
many a times where you had to take a break. Can you talk about the physical challenges that you went through, Kavita, like with the back and everything?
Yeah. So when I started off, I was able to kind of, with the group, motivation and all that, being in the group, the accountability helps. So I was first 2 3 weeks, I was slowly able to get back to my movement. My plate started looking more balanced, and I was able to kind of get my cravings in control. But within I think 3 or 4 weeks into the program, I had a back issue. So I was told not to do any heavy exercise. In fact, I was not allowed to walk for a few weeks. So that was again a blow. It was like I would progress, 3 steps, and I'll be pulled back 3 steps. It was just so frustrating. So then I got over that. I went for physiotherapy for many weeks. I got over that, went back to the gym. I was working on that when, of course, my son came for his surgery. So that the mental anxiety of that, the fact that he had a shoulder surgery and it should settle. There were other issues, when you have children abroad, there are issues, mental like stress and all that was going on. So mentally, that was one. Physically, I had the back. Then again, uh, towards the middle of the program, I started having heavy bleeding because of my menopause, and it just didn't stop. So it they tried everything, medicines, injections, and everything. Then I had to go through a whole lot of testing, biopsy to rule out cancer and other things. And it's a very stressful period, and it's also a time where I couldn't physically or mentally find the energy to do a lot of things. That's where I had to tell myself it's okay. That self-compassion is necessary. It's fine. I know I want to get from point A to point B in a hurry, but it's not going to happen like that because my body is not ready at this point of time. So to constantly get back and say, okay, you can do, you'll do it at some point, you'll do it at some point, and pick myself up and look at each day as a new day and move forward. I think that helped over the last 5 months, but it's been an immensely challenging 5 months. I think everything that could be thrown at me was thrown at me, and it's been like it's very difficult to navigate this period when I wanted to make that transformation, but it was not going my way. But having said that, I have lost about 2.5 kilos. If you want to look at weight, I've dropped one pant size, and my clothes are fitting looser. So I'm going to take that as a victory.
Awesome. I mean, given everything that you are going through, Kavita, your engagement in the group or, just showing up for your practices, communicating whether you're able to do, you're not able to do, this is what I could do. The honesty and the openness is something that I really, really appreciate in you, Kavitha, which actually made the coaching so much better for me, to help guide you appropriately and help you navigate the situation. And immensely strong and resilient woman, Kavitha. Seriously, big pat on your back for that. I mean, if I were you, I don't know if I would have turned out the way you did. Seriously, all the challenges that you had to navigate, not easy at all. So one was handling the mindset, the mind-body connection that we talked about, self-kindness and self-compassion, being flexible with yourself, and also building a whole lot of resilience, tackling these challenges, right? You're definitely stronger than when you started because of the challenges and the way you've been able to navigate and show up for yourself, which shaped your mental makeup, your character, your resilience. How do you feel about that, Kavitha?
I am surprised, actually, if you ask me. The big change that I see is the flexibility. I'm not a very flexible person in the sense that I'm very hard on myself. I have very high expectations, and it's always been all or nothing for me. If I'm not doing it perfectly, it's not done. It's like that for me. You're not doing it perfectly, so even the effort that you're putting is a waste. Is the way my mind used to work earlier. But I think I've become I've become much less hard on myself, and it is definitely making me feel less stressed. Makes me feel happier. I think happier that I'm not putting that kind of pressure on myself, and that I know that I'm not doing this. I'm not making excuses because I don't want to do it. I can see that this is genuine, that what is going on is a genuine battle, between my body and, my mind and everything like that. And it feels good that I'm able to, unpack it for myself, that I can talk to myself and tell myself, you're doing good, go ahead. This is the best you can do today. That's fine. So I think I've become kind of my own best friend and coach, and your voice is there in my head a lot of times with all your words.
Nice. So what I'm hearing is you're definitely a better person now, a much happier person. You've healed your relationship with your own mind. You're not hard on yourself anymore, right? You're much kinder to yourself to times when you're not able to show up for yourself. And how has that impacted your relationship with the people around you, Kavitha?
Earlier there used to be a lot of impatience, anger, irritation, anxiety. One of the practices that I am following, which I've been doing for 2 years now, but again, built in that flexibility, is meditation. So that also came in with the rest of the skills this 5 months, and definitely that has helped make me a more calm person. At least I'm not, uh, I don't find myself, going ballistic or getting so angry all the time, irritable, impatient. I find that I'm definitely more calm, definitely happier, and I'm sure people around me can see that. In fact, my son was saying that you have calmed down a lot. When he came this time, he's been
Wow.
1.5 months with me. So I think he could see the difference. So I would take that as a win, that, that it's been definitely, I think people around me can see it, that I have calmed down and I'm able to be in a lot more control of my own emotions.
Wow, that's really impressive, Kavitha. I mean, the way you've been able to work on yourself, again, it does show, right? It has like a ripple effect when you improve your behaviors or, work on your mind and the way you take actions. That definitely has a ripple effect on the rest of the areas that you're, working on, be it your career or your personal life, right? So the other thing that we worked on, a big chunk of it, of course, we brought back the balancing of the plate and the regular nutritional awareness and all of that. But a big chunk of the time was spent on relationship with food and how to make peace with carbs, right? And your favorite food. So can you talk a little bit about that, Kavi?
Yeah. So the one thing that I like about this program and about you is that you are not hard and fast about you have to eat this, you have to eat that. It's about what we are comfortable eating, and you allow us to make those choices while broadly guiding us on what kind of proteins work, and if you're a vegetarian and things like that. So I think the one thing that I've started, like I've always, like the first time around looking at the country, like if in a week I was able to do 75% of my food plating was balanced, I think that was a win. I've realized that that's a win. And I don't beat myself up for eating carbs, rice or anything else, even a sweet. Sometimes, like I did confess to you that, when I was feeling really low, I needed that sweet every day. And you said, okay, go ahead and eat it. It's fine. If it's not, if the food is not hitting the spot for you, include the sweet as part of your meal and, eat it slowly and mindfully and finish it off. That really helped, so I'm not feeling guilty every time I put that sweet in my mouth. I'm saying, okay, this is a part of my meal. As much as the protein and carb and, the vegetable there, even the sweet is something that I need mentally, for my mental for state. I need it. So I think that way my relationship with food has, I've made peace with it, and it has changed a lot. And I look at the big picture. I'm not looking at each meal as, oh, this was a complete failure. That meal was. I'm looking at the big picture of, say, a 1 week or 2 weeks, and said, okay, this week I've managed to eat 70 to 75, 80%. Well, that's great. I need to pat myself on the back for that. Otherwise, I'm going to feel bad that, this one meal I didn't do well, and I binged when I went out. I do. There are days when I go out, I do binge eat, but then I try and balance it in the next meal. And I feel that has helped because I don't see any drastic change in my weight or, my measurements. Even though I am eating almost everything, I'm eating pizza, I'm eating pasta, but it's not like there is a drastic change because I think I'm balancing it largely, and which is a big skill, I think, and change in mindset.
Thank you for sharing that, Kavi. So, absolutely. And I would like to go on record and say that I do have my sweet almost like few times a week. And I allow myself to have that as part of my meal because, like you rightly said, the meal has to hit the spot for you. If it doesn't hit the spot, that's when you're going to binge eat, right? So I definitely make sure there is something that I really look forward to in the meal, which has actually helped me stay consistent over so many years. If I were to avoid and say that I should not be allowing myself to have that sweet, it would not have lasted this long, right? So I'm so happy I've imbibed that, and you're really feeling very mentally happy and settled with your meals, and you're looking at the big picture, accounting for the small wins. 70-80% consistency is a big deal, actually, Kavitha. I mean, nobody can plate their meals perfectly well 100% of the time, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing that you brought about is, hey, we all go out and eat, but the very important skill is learning how to balance it out within that week. And rather than not take that as, okay, now this is my freedom to now continue to binge eating or continuing to make poorer choices, that's when your body is going to start accumulating all those extra calories as body fat. So if you learn that crucial skill of quickly pivoting and understanding how to balance out that whatever, thinking in the form of a continuum going along the other side of the spectrum, you need to learn how to get yourselves back on track. So fantastic work, Kavitha.
Like today, I know that I'm going out for dinner and I'm going to an older couple's house. So it'll be a carb heavy meal. I know it will not be anything that I'm used to eating. Like I'm not expecting a salad or anything like that. So I've lunch now today. I have cut down the carb. I've not eaten rice. I've just had the salad. I've had my avial and I've had thyroid. So I've said, okay, I'm done with that. Then when I go there in the evening, I know that even if I eat the rice and roti or whatever there is, overall during the day I have balanced it out. So I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
Super. So let's talk about the festival eating, Kavitha, because almost every week since we started, we had a festival to navigate, right? Starting off with, I think, Vinayaka Chaturthi.
Yeah, the Korakates were the killer. So, yeah.
I think it feels for you. I mean, we had a lot of fun going through the program during the festivals, but can you just share a few insights, please?
I think the one thing that everybody will talk about was keeping that your favorite food in front and learning how to not just, stuff yourself with it. So that practical
The
demonstration really
live
helps.
mindful
Live
eating class, right?
demonstration, keeping that gulab jamun in front of you and not eating it for that 1 hour of that call is like a truly practical way of learning how to navigate a festival time when the table is filled with sweets and filled with other things. So that really helped. And also, again, like you said, if you want to eat that korkata, eat the korkata, but try and balance it in the next meal, and don't deny yourself, because it's as much about it's a memory. It connects me with my mother and my grandmother, and it's a tradition. It's so important that we feel connected to that. There's no point in denying ourselves that and then feeling bad about it. So I think uh, making sure that we eat in smaller portions, eat mindfully, eat it slowly, as well as um, balance out the meal during the day. All those things definitely help during both Vinayak Chaturthi and Diwali, especially when you have massive meals, continuously, either in your place or somebody else's house. So that those skills definitely helped.
Yeah, so the mindful eating skills really help navigate festival situations, and also, restaurant outings, attending wedding buffets or events or anything. Basically, the same skills will work in those situations as well. So, how would you define your relationship with food now compared to before, Kavitha, like 6 months before?
Um, I would say that I have gone back to being more aware and mindful, like I was I think for 2 years, the skills that I had learned the first time around, I was able to practice it. It had almost become second nature. Somewhere along the line, because of the fatigue and everything else, I kind of lost track, and I was struggling to get back on track. I think the relationship with food has gone back to what it was earlier. I'm able to um, be less judgmental about what I eat. I'm able to plate more balanced meals. I'm definitely happier around food. Not. I'm not punishing myself for eating things that I should not. I think I should not be eating. So it's definitely a happier relationship with food, I would say.
Wow, really amazing. So you basically found your way back, right, to
Yes.
how you felt about yourself. And how sustainable do these habits and strategies feel for you, Kavitha, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a lifestyle?
I would say a 9, because I know for
Wow.
the fact that it's sustainable. I was able to sustain it for 2 years. So, I mean, and life does happen. You do get, there are obstacles and you have to navigate them. It is very sustainable because you're not imposing a diet. Somebody is not imposing a diet externally. It is what you're eating on a day to day basis, which you're uh, plating and analyzing to your taste, uh, to in a more balanced manner. So it is not something that somebody is forcing on me. It's what I am uh, deciding to eat on a day-to-day basis. So it's very, very sustained. It's not something that is difficult to do at all. It is not like a short-term fix where I say, okay, I'm going to grit my teeth and do this for 4 months and lose the weight, and then I'll go back to being normal. It's a lifestyle change, and that is something that I've internalized. That this is not something I'm going to be doing short term. This is how it's going to be for the rest of my life, and that's something that I've internalized, and it's
Hmm.
easy to do. Definitely easy to do.
Thank you for bringing that out. And definitely, people need to learn a lot more about the difference between a diet program and what this program is all about, right? It's not a restrictive program at all. And the last part where you said it's easy to do, I think that's a very key operating word, because this is built on tiny habits. This is not about taking on a huge habit and trying to make that happen. It's going to fail. We break down the goal into tiny behaviors that has a very good structure. So I'm going to have you talk about it, Kavitha. So what do you think, what aspects of the program did you find most valuable, and if you can talk about the structure?
See, I think a lot of it was starting with consistent movement, and then planning and prepping your meal, and then how to balance your plate with carbs, proteins, and veggies, and what kind of proteins if you're a vegetarian, because that's a big challenge, because that's a big question that everybody has. People say you have to eat protein, but as a vegetarian, what do you eat, how much do you eat? So all those skills, you kind of were able to um, explain to us in a clear manner how to plate your meal so that it is balanced. Then of course, this time around, noticing the mindful eating has always been a big part of it. So I think that's a game changer. And if that can become internalized and become a part of how you eat on a day-to-day basis, I think that's half the battle won. I'm able to do it at home. I'm still struggling when I step out into a restaurant or in a separate in a different environment. But I think I'll get there eventually. So I'm happy that at least at home I have that capacity to eat mindfully, and I'm able to do that. So there were so many skills. There was, of course, hydration, sleep. There's so much involved in maintaining a healthy lifestyle. And I think all these skills, one by one, when you brought them in, you introduced them in a week, and then you asked us to practice it and get back about what, challenges we had. And then, manage and, put a goal for ourselves for the following week. It was not forced on us. Like, this goal was not something that was forced on us, but something that evolved from our own experience the prior week. So it was, I think it is a very sustainable and a very gentle way of going about this transformation. It's not like a drastic from day one, I'm going to do 1 hour of exercise, I'm going to change everything that I eat. I think that would have felt like a shock. It was not like that. It was like a slow, steady transformation, slow, steady change. So that I think that's how the whole skill development happened for me, and I'm sure for the rest of the group also.
Wow, you beautifully articulated, Kavitha, and that shows how well you've imbibed each one. You've put your commitment into each of those while learning them. Really appreciate that, Kavitha. So this is what I want to share. I mean, the skills build on each other. There is a progression to them. And the other important thing to understand is when people go for weight loss programs, they think diet and exercise is the game changer. But actually, it's stress management, sleep, and the ability to pause, your mindful eating skills that are the game changers. Because anybody can give you a diet and an exercise program, and the reason you're not able to follow through consistently is because life happens, and then you have not learned any skills to navigate those life situations to get yourselves back on track, right? And that is what you learn here, where you have the self-kindness, the self-compassion, understanding of your body, learning when to push, when to kind of ease off a little bit. These are all skills that help you stay on this journey for the really long term. And apart from also learning the physical skills that help you see the results, over time. So thanks for that. And how has being a part of the group community, impacted your journey specifically, Kavitha?
I think I needed it in the beginning. Definitely, I needed it because the group accountability helped. The fact that there were 6, 7 other women in the group who were going through the journey, they were at different stages in the journey themselves, and you were able to kind of personalize the coaching for each one of them. Though it was a group, I know that a lot of my questions were answered, and I probably knew what was coming next because I'd already done it before. So I had a few more questions. Sometimes I would wonder, is it right for me to be asking this because she's not introduced the skill to them? But I mean, I didn't feel any sense of, no, this is right or this is not right. So I knew that you were there to guide each one of us individually, and that's how it happened. So yeah.
Thank you, Kavitha. And definitely, I mean, that's the advantage of being in a group, right? When one person's questions get answered, the other person is learning. And there is so much peer learning that happens, so much aha moments, I would say, right? Looking at somebody else's plate, oh, wow, okay. So this is also one way where I can plate my meals, or this is one way where I can.
The kuri plate has
Yeah,
become
kuri
very
cutter.
popular.
And the recipes, there's so many recipes that we each
Yes.
shared, amongst us, and that made it so much fun and enjoyable. And the laughs that we used to have, sometimes we cried,
Yeah.
all part of this journey, right? So what feedback would you share about your entire coaching experience in terms of accountability, support, guidance that you received, Kavitha?
I would say that I felt very supported. I felt that I was in a group which was very non-judgmental, that there was a group energy which kind of carried us through. And a large part of what you did was um, coach, I would feel, and very gently, in the sense that, okay, you would make us think, reflect, and be a little bit more compassionate if we were being hard on ourselves. So I think the whole coaching program was more about gently guiding us to understand ourselves, our needs, our capacity, and maybe set goals for ourselves and how to reach there at our own pace. And that's what the coaching program did for me, at least, because I knew that I was not able to do things at the pace that some of the others were, but I didn't feel bad or anything like that. I was not made to feel bad. I was not made to feel, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I'm not able to keep up. But I think that is the whole I think USP of your coaching program, that we are able to do it at our own pace, and you kind of gently course correct. You help us reflect, you help us understand our emotions, understand where we are, and then move us to the next level. Help us move to the next.
Thank you. Thank you, Kavitha. This is really incredible feedback and very important for me to know that, again, I'm very new to group coaching. This is only the fourth cohort that I have launched. And while I have been doing one-on-one coaching ever since, like right from the start. So this is very important for me to know. I'm also learning continuously and I'm evolving. I'm so happy to hear that you felt supported, you felt understood, you were coached, guided appropriately based on your own unique challenges and at your pace, right? And it's very important that the space provided was non-judgmental, and you could also have the freedom to share what you wanted without feeling inhibited. Like, what would the other person say? Or if somebody else is in a different phase in their journey, is it appropriate for me to ask this question? So I really appreciate, your feedback, Kavi. And what was the best part about me as your coach, Kavi? You've seen me 2 times around.
I think the fact that you're non-judgmental and that you're not prescriptive, in the sense you're not prescribing. So I'm sure you know that at the place that we are, and the challenges that we are going through, this is what we should be doing. But there is no must, there is no should, there is no why are you not doing this, nothing. So I think the fact that you allow us to work on it at our own pace, and that you provide this very non-judgmental, caring, and compassionate space is very refreshing. It's very, very refreshing. And also this I never felt that because I wasn't able to achieve my goals, that I was not progressing. You're always there to celebrate even the smallest win. That is a big I feel that is a big form of support, because we are hardest on ourselves. We need somebody externally who's constantly showing us, okay, you've done this, you've done this, you're capable. It's okay if you've slipped a little, but you can progress and proceed beyond this. I think those were the things about the coaching program and you that I truly loved.
Thank you, Kavi. And what message would you like to share for women who are watching this video, who are thinking twice about investing in themselves, based on your own transformation journey? What helped you, and what do you think you want to share to motivate them?
I feel that at various stages, when we feel that it's always like we reach a point when we say, no, this will not do, I need to transform my health, I cannot be like this anymore. Sometimes we can't do it on our own. We need an external catalyst, we need an external support coach, somebody who has the path already, who's gone through this path multiple times, and who can guide us through it. We can flounder through it and find out for ourselves. We can do it in multiple ways, but I think it's worthwhile investing in a coaching program, because it gives you one, accountability; two, somebody who can guide you through the program; three, a clear sense of direction. And I think a coaching program also um, makes you see that, you can get from here to here, you can make the transformation, especially a coaching program like this, that it doesn't have to be 3 months like I've lose 10 kilos. No. But a coaching program like this can tell you, even, progressing from a 15-minute walk to a 45-minute walk is progress. Even progressing from not having any protein in your meal to, eating a balanced plate is progress. So it helps to see progress in various forms and not just as a number on a scale, or how you look. So I think that's very important. That's what
Thank
it
you,
has done
Kavi.
for me. I think the coaching program has helped me. I don't look at the scale so often now. I do look at my clothes; they do fit better now. So I'm not so obsessed with the scale like I was earlier, and that's one big thing that the coaching program has done. I'm able to look at energy levels. I'm able to look at all the habits that I have put in place and pat myself on the back for that, and not necessarily just look at the outcome and say, okay, I didn't get the outcome in 3 months. I know I will get there. It might take me a few more months. I'll get there, but at least I have the skills in place to get there. So
Super. Thank you so much, Kavi. And must be a huge weight off your shoulders to not keep looking at the scale. And the other thing that you shared is you will get there in time, right? The most important thing is looking at how consistent you are with the behaviors, looking at how consistent you are with the skills that you have learned, because automatically multiply that by time, you are going to get to your goals. So what we need to focus on while looking at the goals can motivate you or bring you down. What really helps you get there is your behaviors and how you can consistently make it happen. And if that comes from positive environment from within, where you're acknowledging your wins, you're saying, oh, okay, compared to last week, this week I've been actually more consistent. It builds a little bit of a joy and happiness to keep continuing on this journey, right? And this journey shouldn't be coming at the cost of your mental or emotional health or at the cost of your physical health. Definitely not worth it, right? And not what we are signing up for. So I'm so happy that you've learned all the skills and you're feeling that it's sustainable. And at any time, Kavi, my doors are open. You know that you can always come back to me, ask me questions. I'm there to support you. And of
thank you.
course, if you want to sign up again to maybe refresh your skills or some new challenges have come and you need help, I'm always there, Kavi. And I
Thank you so
truly
much, Lisa.
appreciate
Thanks a lot.
truly appreciate your time today and best wishes in your journey, Kavi.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks for all the help in the last 5 months. And like I said, I think I'm ready to do this on my own. I've had group accountability to kind of encourage me. I feel now I should learn to be accountable to myself. That's where I am at this point of time. So I'm eager to know that I can do this on my own and use these skills. Like last time around, after the 3 months is when I saw maximum change. So I'm hoping that once I finish this, now that I've relearned and brought myself back on track, I know that I can slowly push myself and get to where I want to be.
And definitely the feather on the cap is, hey, I want to be accountable for myself. I think that's a very, very big statement and a huge progress marker, right? I think, the mission of every coach should be to build that kind of efficacy and accountability in the
Yeah.
clients themselves so that they don't hire the coach again.
To some extent, to some extent, you're able to self-coach, and I think that's something that the program does. If you imbibe the skills in the spirit that you teach them, I think you can self-coach, you can course correct to some extent on your own, unless something big comes like it did, for me after 2.5 years. I think that's the big win, that you can do it on your own.
Super. Thank you so much, Kavi. Good luck. And keep
Thank
me
you.
posted about your progress.
Sure, will do. Thanks.